This is Tyler Sparks, aka Papa Bacchus of Hooched, sitting down with Melanie Wise of Artemis Film Productions. Did I get that correct?
Actually, well, yes, it's Artemis Motion Pictures, and then we are producing the Artemis Women in Action Film Festival.
And that's what we're here to talk about. I know there's a lot of other projects that you guys have going on, some cool stuff that we want to get into, but we're a big fan of the Etheria Film Festival, which celebrates female directors in horror. And so that's kind of how I stumbled across the festival that you guys have coming up in April, right?
Yes, it's the 24th through the 26th. It's going to be in Los Angeles for 3 days. And well, actually, the response to it has been really kind of astounding. We're fixing to launch a crowdfunding campaign so that we can actually do it some proper justice in terms of how it's presented. And, we basically just want to try and give it a little bit of a larger budget. So
excellent. How did you guys? I know Artemis Motion Pictures is very focused on promoting the female presence in film, but what inspired the festival?
Well, we have been making films that feature strong leads for years, and it's kind of a natural progression for us because it's something that one of my business partners has actually been writing very strong female characters since 1984. And so we were way ahead of our time. And then, I'm 6 feet tall, so a huge casting nightmare when, it's like, especially if you go back in time just even a couple of years, people look at me and because of my size, there were many shows that I would audition for that I wouldn't get the parts because I was taller than the men. And so as we have watched what's happening in the industry in terms of box office, TV, all of your streaming platforms, people are clamoring for product that features strong female leads. So for us, it was kind of a natural progression. And also it's a way of really bringing focus to something that is so very long overdue.
Yeah, and I have noticed that rise myself. I just watched this movie called Raise that features some very, very strong, very impressive women. Zoe Bell, who was in...
she's awesome.
I think it's Death Proof was her last one. And another one just popped up on Netflix that I saw. I haven't had a chance to get to it yet, but I think it's called Mercenaries, which is some more incredibly powerful women. And it was definitely an audience. It's great to see that sort of expanding, especially for someone such as yourself. 6 feet tall is an imposing figure, and seeing you in your trailers and your little video clips I've been able to find, it's pretty badass. Certainly more badass than a lot of the wimpy Tom Cruise types we have floating around here.
Yeah, well, well, thank you. No, I think the other reason that, just to nutshell it, is women in action are actually, I remember when I was a kid watching, at that time, the only really physically powerful women that you saw were in sports. And check out gymnastics or basketball, anywhere, and you see these women who really just kick the shit out of them, and it's awesome. It's incredibly beautiful. And I was also raised by a man, so it's like I don't have some of the natural conventions that other women do. When we were screening Hannah's Gift, we actually we did a test screening of it, and we handed out questionnaires, and there were several women who complained that the leading character was too strong. So, it's that one I can see, but I can't understand that. So, it's, for me, it's just, there's something incredibly powerful about this woman positioned more like a warrior. Do you know what I mean? And so, and I have a strong pull to it. So,
I was raised by a woman myself, and so I grew up with more powerful female women, especially my mother in my life. And for me, one of my favorite heroes was Sigourney Weaver.
Yes.
And her in Aliens. My God, and she's not short. I believe she's about 6 foot, right?
She's my height. She's my height.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, so and she's she's tall, she's strong, she's powerful, and so for me it was never a question. I didn't understand that there was a difference between male or female heroes in film or just in general. But having been now more involved in the industry, it really is saddening. So it's very heartening to see it being celebrated more these last few years.
Yeah, no, I'm floored. I'm pretty sure I could be way off base on this, but like they're actually at two very recent award ceremony. They were giving awards for like the best action hero for women, or I'm sure their language was much more PC than what I'm relaying to you here.
Sure.
But it's there. I mean, and one of the reasons why we're trying to push this festival out on a kind of a short timeline is because it's just so timely. And, I mean, even Gina Davis has done so much research about, I hate to use these words because, but gender inequality in terms of like pretty much for every, I think in the top 100 studio films, like in terms of box office results, for every 4 men in action, we only see 1 woman in action. And then when you start looking at the percentages of speaking roles between men and women, those things become jarring. It's like if you just judge by watching the content that we film and produce, you would think that our society has, 1/6 of a female population, when in fact, our population is more than half female. Our colleges are filled with more than 60% women. And then you're even seeing like, recently Charlize Theron demanded equal pay for a film that she's in, which it was a gutsy move. Venus Williams. Oh, I lost your audio.
Can you hear me now?
I can, yes.
Okay.
It's just, I'm actually quite delighted by the stuff that I see happening in major media. So.
Well, it's very exciting, and I think it's great that you guys are getting on the forefront. So, besides the crowdfunding, what else is going on before the festival launches in April?
Well, obviously, we want to do a couple of things. We're obviously going to hold a competition, but we're also going to do an honors section and literally salute, the women and the filmmakers, not men and women, who have been bringing us this content, because that's, it's kind of like the stunt, it wasn't, and I think it was until 2008 that there was a Stuntman's Awards, so you have, people like Schwarzenegger and Willis and all of your action gods, that look so rough and tough because of the stunt people that actually did the stunts for them.
Right, yeah.
And so, and now I really feel like this is as long overdue as the stunt awards were. And then if you look again, it's like, so now they have stunt awards for the stuntmen, but then they give these like really crappy awards to the women stuntmen, and I was like, wow. So we're actually planning on saluting several well-known actors, actresses. I call them all actors, male or female, but we also want to get into the stunt women, some of the directors that really have supported and even fought to have strong characters in film. Right. So we want to shine a big bright light on the stuff that's been happening for years that just doesn't get much acknowledgement.
That's awesome. Okay, well, you've got to keep me posted. Send me the link once we get the crowdfunding stuff, and we'll do some promotion here on Hardly Aged for that as well.
That would be awesome. Also, just so you guys know, we are open to animated and documentary films. The only criteria that we have pretty much is that you have to have a woman starring or co-starring in a physical action role. The other, for documentaries, sports documentaries, pro and non-pro, anything that, features women in, kicking ass and taking names.
All right. Very cool.
So, shorts and features.
Yeah. I'll provide all the information in the article below. Once again, this festival is running from April 24th to 26th. It's just coming up in a few months. There will be a crowding campaign going on, so everybody stay tuned for that. Thank you so much for joining me, Melanie.
Oh, it was awesome. Thank you so much for having me.
All right, cheers.
Cheers.